rather with a clarity of purpose and vision that is fueled by your beauty and love. A commitment to healing the wounds that we have collectively caused by our sleep. This book is a promise. We are awakening. You can rest now. We are coming home to you. Part 1. Keep your death close. On April 21, 2015, I held my father's hand as he took his last breath. I had lost people close to me before in my life, but never in such a dramatic way, and never someone that had been so close and so influential in molding and shaping me into who I am. He raised me, defined me, challenged me, and gave me my name. He instilled in me certain principles and directions that would equate to who I am and how I operate in the world as a man. Parts of me are indisputably his, and the space that he filled up in my life was immense. Although my mood as he passed wasn't sadness, there was a drama, electricity, and confusion, all the elements that make up mystery. I remember walking to the window of the ICU and staring out into the wet spring day of New Jersey. The rain from the night before soaked the base of the blossom trees and made the bark look like dark chocolate, while the early blossoms were vibrant with young life. It was a spring day that only the Northeast knows. It was the in-between reluctance of nature of whether she should hold on to winter or totally surrender and dive headfirst into summer's heat. The in-between, like where I stood at that moment and what I had just witnessed. I noticed as nature didn't even flinch in regard to what just happened. In a breath, I just lost my hero, my mentor, one of my best friends, the one and only man that I could call Dad. While I assumed that the world should pause for a moment, Mother Nature disagreed and moved on. She kept to her rhythms and withheld her mysteries of the unseen into which my dad just entered. For the months that followed, I lived with an ache in my heart that's hard to explain and put into words. The gaping hole of my father's presence was truly missed, but not in a dramatic way, but closer to the mundane, everyday moment and nuance. My best friend, who had lost his father years before, said to me, "Now you're part of a tribe that must navigate the world without a parent, without a dad." In those months and years after, there was a yearning for me to live a life that my father could be proud of. A way to live that life would be to honor him and all his traditions and the love and guidance that he passed down to me. But over time, after he passed, there was an insight that haunted me. I share the same fate. One day, not knowing exactly how, my final breath would escape me from the home it made throughout my life, disappearing into the ether and the unknown, only to take on a new home for its next magnificent phase. And there was a peace that I lived with, one that was fueled by creativity and contribution and urgency. The sadness and mourning of my father's passing began to transform and made room in my heart for new ways to honor him and live a life of passion, fulfillment, and purpose. If we shared the same fate, then I became determined that when death came to my door, I would be ready. I would have nothing left for death to take as his prize. No regrets, no gifts unopened in my heart, no loving words not spoken to the people that deserve to hear them from me, no ideas left unexplored, and certainly no love left behind in my fear of giving it and being misunderstood. In short, I was determined to die on empty. My life, up until this day, has become a purposeful journey of leaving no stone unturned in my spirit that belongs here on earth, leaving me unencumbered to meet my fate one day, ready, hollow, empty, and free to fly the day my last breath escapes me. There is a new man emerging, a committed spirit who dedicates his life to creating the greatest value in his work, relationships, and the world. He is a man that is dedicated to growth and contribution and to experiencing the greatest version of himself. He's a departure from the old, macho, never show your emotions man that is unwilling to explore.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.